good, Commanders fans? So some schedule leaks have came out. I'm just gonna talk about the two leaks that came out tonight. I should be doing my Elite channel members stream tonight at 9 o'clock, so it should be a lot of fun with the guys. Make sure you guys tune in live. We'll be talking about the schedule, the draft, free agency, all off-season stuff. But the first news that came out from JP Finlay was that we're going to be playing the New York Jets on Christmas Eve on the road at the Meadowlands. And then also he leaked and came out, or he got a source that told him that we are going to be playing the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football once again. We played the Bears on Thursday Night Football, so we're going to play them again on Thursday Night Football, this time at FedEx Field in Week 5. So that should be a fun game there. But of course, prize picks. I'm going to give you guys a couple quick picks here real quick. Tonight, I got Jokic going over 52.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I got James Harden getting over 8.5 assists. Once again, you sign up with prize picks using my promo code RealEdOliver. The link down below in the description box, 100% deposit match. So I got Jokic having a big game once again. He's been killing it this series. And James Harden, I think he's going to feed Embiid. Huge game tonight for the Sixers and Celtics. I have the Sixers winning, but I have James Harden getting at least 10 assists because he's going to have to feed Joel Embiid. So, like I said, if you guys want 100% deposit match, use my promo code RealEdOliver on the Prize Picks app. All right, so let's look at the Jets. Of course, Aaron Rodgers, man. We actually don't do too bad against Aaron Rodgers in the past. We just beat him last year. I remember when we beat him again, with Kirk Cousins. That was years ago, but at the same time, and we beat Aaron Rodgers with Alex Smith as well. So we've actually done a pretty darn good job against Aaron Rodgers in the past. Now, they did make some good moves. Zach Wilson is still on the roster. He's their backup quarterback. He's not going to play. But this is pretty late in the season. Now, their wide receiver core is not bad at all. Now, this will be a good test for Emmanuel Forbes, Quan Martin, Kendall Fuller. They got Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis. They brought over Alan Lazard. So he's basically making it the Green Bay Packers East. Well, I mean, they're already on the East Coast, but the Green Bay's on the Midwest, but they're making it Green Bay Packers of New York, bringing over Alan Lazard and bringing over Randall Cobb as well, his guys. And they have McCole Hardman. So they have some speed in that wide receiver core. They have some good players, Denzel Mims. I'm looking at the matchup with Terry McLaurin against Sauce Gardner. I mean, Terry's going to, Terry, I feel like Terry would win his matchup. Whoever he goes up against, I feel like Terry will win his matchup, to be honest. Denzel Mims is a good receiver too. So they have a good receiving core. So our secondary certainly will be tested against those guys. They got Tyler Conklin at tight end, CJ Uzuma. But going against Aaron Rodgers should be a fun matchup. They did draft Zach Kuntz, the tight end that I wanted from Old Dominion, in the 7th round. I did like him. Their offensive line is okay at best, so this is a big game for Chase Young, Montez Sweat. They got to dominate. They have to get to Aaron Rodgers, basically like we did last year when we got pressure on him. We made them make mistakes. We took advantage of it, for sure. So they got Elijah Vera Tucker. Like I said, their quarterbacks, their secondary with Sauce Gardner. Like I said, I don't think they can really check Jahan or Curtis. I say that every time we play anybody. I just don't think they can really check any of our wide receivers out there, our legitimate group of 3 guys. But Christmas Eve on the road against the Jets. You look at some of their draft picks, some of the moves that they made this year. They drafted Will McDonald, edge rusher, so Charles Leno has to be ready for that. Same thing with Sam Cosmi and Andrew Wiley. They drafted Joe Tippmann out of Wisconsin, 43rd pick in the 2nd round. Carter Warren. I do like their running back, Israel Abanaconda, the running back out of Pittsburgh. I did like him coming out. Like I said, I did like Zach Kuntz in the 7th round. So they have a pretty good roster. They have a good receiving core. They have a couple of good backs. Breece Hall is a legitimate running back. So I know he got injured last year, so we'll see. He should be ready for that game. But I'm a pretty big fan of Breece Hall. He had a good season last year. Like I said, Sauce Gardner had a good season as well. So we'll see. We'll see if Breece Hall is going to be available in that game with the torn ACL. But I'm not going to predict whether I think we're going to win or lose that game. But like I said, we've done really good against Aaron Rodgers, so I'm really not concerned about that game at all. So we'll see where we are in Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, that game is on a Sunday, so it's not a nationally televised game. It's not a Saturday night game or anything like that. It's not an NFL Network game. This is a regular 1 p.m. game that most likely will be on Fox 5. All right, so the Thursday Night Football game, I didn't think we were going to get any primetime games, so it's not a surprise to me that we got a primetime game because the new rule is that you're not guaranteed a primetime game. If they don't want you on primetime, they will not put you on primetime. I think the Arizona Cardinals will probably be one of the few teams that are not featured on primetime just because they're going to be a really bad team this year. But I am kind of surprised they put us on Thursday Night Football with the Bears. But some of the Thursday Night Football matchups last year weren't that great. They were kind of odd and weird matchups. Now, like the first game on the premier game that's on national television is the the Lions and the Chiefs, which is an odd matchup. That's not a game that's going to be really attractive for viewers. But this game, here we go. We have a rematch against the Bears. Like I said, last year we beat them with Justin Fields. It came down to a last-second tackle by Ben St. Juste, a huge play, forced a couple turnovers. The guy who muffed the punt, Velus Jones, thanks to him for muffing that punt. Because if he didn't muff that punt, I don't know if we win that game. Carson was abysmal. He was off in that game. Now, Carson had a really good block in that game, but that was a rough game to watch. It was like, 16-13, something like that. It was just a defensive struggle for sure. Brian Robinson had a solid game that game, so that's really what won us the game. Running the football and just forcing turnovers. Jonathan Allen got an interception in that game as well. At the running back spot, they have Khalil Herbert, Dante Foreman, of Roshan Johnson out of Texas. I like him a lot as a rookie. Of course, they're going to run the football. They're going to run the football a lot with Justin Fields. A lot of read options, zone read, stuff like that. Their receiving core is pretty good, too. They did upgrade the receiving core this offseason for Justin Fields, bringing in DJ Moore from the Panthers. They got Chase Claypool at the trade deadline, and Darnell Mooney is already a solid receiver for them. So, once again, another good test for Quan Martin and Emmanuel Forbes. Will he be guarding DJ Moore? Will he be guarding Chase Claypool? Chase Claypool is a pretty big receiver. DJ Moore, once again, a pretty big receiver as well. Tyler Scott, Velus Jones is still on the roster. St. Brown's little brother, or bigger brother, is on the roster. Cole Kmet at tight end. Robert Tonyan from the Packers is a pretty good addition as well. Offensive line, they drafted Darnell Wright, who I really wanted out of Tennessee. I know the Washington front office, they like Darnell Wright as well out of Tennessee. I know they wanted to draft him if he was going to be available at 16, but he was not. Tevin Jenkins on the offensive line as well. Edge rushers DeMarcus Walker, Travis Gibson as well. So they have a pretty good roster. Justin Jones on the defensive line as well. Linebackers, they have TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds. That's a pretty big addition from the Bills. They signed him, and they spent a lot of money this offseason. They were not shy with spending money and trying to make this roster better to help Justin Fields out for sure. Their wide receiver core, their cornerbacks, they're not great. Jalen Johnson's okay. Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Kendall Vilder. Once again, I think we win that matchup with our wide receivers against their guys. Eddie Jackson at the safety spot and Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State. Their draft picks, they drafted Darnell Wright at pick 10, Zach Pickens in the 3rd round, Noel Sewell in the 5th round, Jervon Dexter in the 2nd round, Roshan Johnson in the 4th round. They had a lot of picks. Tyreek Stevenson out of Miami, the cornerback in the 2nd round as well. So yeah, I think this is a winnable game. But we have to stop the run, obviously. We have to stop the run and be ready for those zone reads and Justin Fields running around for sure. And Justin Fields, he has a good arm, too. Now, he missed a lot of throws in that game last year, but we'll see if he improves. This is a big year for Justin Fields. This is a huge year for Justin Fields for sure. Make or break year for him, I feel like. So, you guys let me know what you guys think. We do have a Thursday night NFL primetime game. Just like last year, we'll see if we have any more games. I don't know. We'll see if we have a Monday Night Football game. And the thing I was thinking about this morning, too, is that we do pretty well on primetime games. Under Ron Rivera, we beat the Bears last year. We beat the Eagles on Monday Night Football. We beat Russell Wilson on Monday Night Football 2 years ago when he was with the Seahawks. We've done fairly well in primetime football games for sure. So I think this is certainly a winnable game, and I lean towards winning that one. The Jets game, I feel like we can win that one too. I really do. Just because we do a really good job against Aaron Rodgers. So I have a good feeling about that game. All right, you guys let me know what you guys think about the first 2 leaks. Hail the Commanders. Peace.